You ever wonder what could be going through somebody's mind when they're making something? Like something is so bafflingly weird that you're like, what were you smoking in order to create that? What were you on in order to achieve that? And I didn't realize that I could experience that until I saw a skeleton hitting the running man and screaming a little girl's scream in my face for a theme song to a show. I mean, when you see skeletons start, busting a groove real quick, like, hitting the moves on them, getting sturdy with it, like, that's when that's a problem. Why are skeletons dancing on screen in horrible 3D CGI animation? And that's the beginning of the cringe. The same way that Marcus Digital be talking about what the F is going on? Who thought that that was a good idea? That looked good on camera? That's how I'm feeling right now. Because I just watched the Ghost of Fear Street pilot episode, which I didn't know was a thing. I didn't know existed. I've only read a couple of Fear Street books. The first one that I read ended up being the worst kids horror book that I ever read, which was Why I'm Not Afraid of Ghosts. Absolutely terrible, straight doo-doo water, straight triceratops shit level content that one can witness through that book. And then I got Eye of the Fortune Teller, which I thought was pretty good. It had a lot of good moments. I think I gave it like a 8.2 out of 10. Thought it was pretty good, pretty solid, had some good body horror, some scares in there. It was a little bit predictable, but I thought it was pretty solid. So I've only experienced those two books, and that's the max I have out of Ghost of Fear Street experience. So when I saw this pilot, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm finna see. I thought they were gonna adapt maybe the first book, Hide and Shriek, and that's why they're showing all these skeletons and stuff, maybe as a nod to that. And then I watched it, and I was like, what the, you were smoking that crack, you were snoring that booger sugar when you made this. Well, as soon as you start showing me skeletons hitting the Dougie and hitting the Running Man in terrible 3D CGI, that's when we got problems. That's the theme song, baby. The rest of the cringe, it comes later on. So without further ado, let's get into this review. I thought I would drop this video right now because it's about, there's no watch on me, by the way. I was just straight lying when I looked at my wrist. It's about 5 hours away from my birthday. That's right. About in 5 hours, I'm about to turn 21. About to become legal enough to drink. About to become, I guess, an adult officially, because 18 years old is when you're like officially an adult, but you're not really an adult. 21 is like adult. People would treat you like an adult. So still young adult, but yeah, my birthday. I turned 21 in about 5 hours. So what is a better gift than being able to see a straight pile of hallucinogenic buffalo shit as my birthday gift? Because this buffalo shit has been laced with LSD. It's been laced with all types of toad oils and, strange honeys that Joe Rogan talks about on his podcast. Whatever Joe Rogan be talking about on his podcast, this is a DMT laced rhino shit that I have to snort and rub in my face, and that's what we're going to talk about, because that's what this Ghost of Fear Street pilot episode is. It is one big DMT laced rhino piece of shit, like straight up triceratops Jurassic level shit. That giant shit mound that they saw in Jurassic Park and that they were gawking at, that's what this is, except if you laced it full of LSD pills. For real, I'm being for real. So how does this start? Well, first of all, from the thumbnail, you'll be able to see these dancing skeletons. These skeletons hitting the Dougie and getting their groove on is the beginning intro. Now, if you've never seen the Ghost of Fear Street pilot theme song, don't. That is basically the simple way I could put it. Don't. Because it is terrible. I don't know what they were on when they were making it. It's like these crazy zoom ups of these skeletons screaming, and it'll be like a girl scream coming out of its mouth, and then the eyes will be bulging like in the cartoons, like a ooga ooga ooga. Like, I'm like, what is going on, y'all? And they be like hitting the grooves, you know what I'm saying? Getting their dance on, get a quick little Millie Rock in there. I'm like, what? This is supposed to be scary. This is supposed to set up Ghost of Fear Street. Since when has this ever been a part of the series? As far as I recall, I don't think anybody relates this to what the series should be, but it's a pilot. They were experimenting. This is very much an experimental episode because the pacing is straight doodoo garbage, the cringiness is straight doodoo garbaggio, and the acting is non-existent. This is like some of the worst. I don't know if this was made in Canada. This is some of the worst Canadian kids at horror acting you could see. So yeah, and you start off with basically this scene involving the Bugman. Now there is a book called The Bugman Lives. I have not read it. It's one that caught my attention because the title sounded interesting and the cover looks interesting, and that's what it starts off. So there's this kid named Fred, I believe, who's riding on his bike over to his homie's crib, and he walks up to the crib. He sees this excessive amounts of web all over the house. Doesn't really say anything. I don't know why you would not say anything. Low key, if I pulled up to someone's crib and I see a F ton of webs all over it, if it's not a Halloween, y'all, I'm not entering that house. That house is getting run up like a trap house by a bunch of black widows, brown recluses. I'm not messing with that. They run in the trap house. They making deals out there. They selling bootleg copies of the new Goosebumps show like Ezekiel is down the back alleyway over there. So I'm not messing with that. But this kid eventually goes in there. And as he heads in there, he just tells these two random family members, who I assume are the mom and dad or somebody, who are sitting at the dining table, that, hey, don't wake up, it's just me, I'm finna go head upstairs. Yeah, those people are completely wrapped up in webs too. Are you blind, bro? Are those glasses you wearing, like did you get the wrong prescription, my boy? Like, you can't see 10 feet ahead of you that these guys are mummified in webs? You got glasses on, but I don't think you got the right prescription, my boy. Or maybe those are gimmick glasses, I don't know. You done got tricked, boy. So he goes upstairs, completely ignoring these mummified bodies at the dining table. Heads up, goes into his friend's room, and he sees these three people playing a game of Twister. Presumably one of his homies is in there. And yeah, they're completely mummified in webs too. In the middle of a Twister game, they done got caught, which is rough because Twister is a very intense game. It requires a lot of attention, requires a lot of flexibility, requires a lot of pause-worthy positions that you put yourself in, which can be exploited for many memes or many embarrassing pics to come. And then you get caught like that. That's sad. These people get caught. Now he starts to freak out. And as he goes into the hallway, he finally sees his homie. And his homie is rocking this absolutely disgusting Hawaiian shirt. I don't know who told him to rock that. He needs to go throw that in the furnace. You cannot rock that, my boy. But he pulls up, and right away, you can tell that this kid is not getting paid enough because his acting is terrible. I don't know where they found this kid. They might have found him from a Chuck E. Cheese, or maybe they were at Walmart trying to pick up some Hershey Kisses, and they found this kid. This kid cannot act, bro. This kid cannot act. Believe me. This kid goes up to this guy, and he goes, my science experiments were in Arkansas. You know how they say, don't try it at home? I tried it at home. And then he lifts up his arm. I'm being for real with y'all. He lifts up his armpits. I swear to you, I smelled it through the camera. Bro was not rocking that deodorant. First of all, people, you gotta rock that deodorant. You gotta rock that Old Spice. Label got ripped up. But Old Spice, y'all, you gotta rock that Old Spice. This dude, straight musky, like I'm talking, straight musty armpits. He lifts it up. I smell it through the screen. I literally thought, bro, I was like, am I being haunted right now? Because I could smell his armpits through the screen. Nasty. He lifts them up, and I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. This I'm trying to keep it as PG as possible. He starts squirting webs out of his armpits. I'm not gonna say what that looks like because I'm not that childish. But y'all know. It looked like bust. But y'all know. Seriously, it looked like bust. But y'all know. So yeah. He starts squirting these webs out of his armpits, completely mummifies his friend, and then he pulls out a bendy straw. And I don't know why he has a bendy straw. I'm assuming he was going to drink his friend. That's what I thought, at least. But then it turns out this is all retconned. All of this entire scene is apparently a scene from the main character's father's book that he's writing. Their father is a famous author. He writes these scary stories, and the Bugman is one of his stories, and he pitches it to his kids, and his daughters like, oh, Dad, bendy straws aren't scary. You gotta have machetes. Like, duh, you should know that. I don't know how you got far as a writer without knowing. Yeah, machetes are more scary than bendy straws. Mother effer, like, you should know that. But right away he's getting advice from his kids. His kids are kind of bored, and they're giving him advice. And then it turns out that these guys are going to move into Fear Street. So apparently, their grandma passed away. Their grandpa's left alone over in this I guess, place called Shady Side. I don't know if it's called Shady Side Library, but I'm assuming that the homie, the YouTuber Shady Side Library, named it after this location. They moved to this place called Shady Side where their grandfather is, and their grandfather is basically like the gatekeeper to this place. And their parents have grown up on Fear Street their entire lives. They've heard some stories about it, but their parents are kind of, hid and kind of gatekeeped, literally kept away things from them. So they head there. They show up at Fear Street right away. As soon as they get out, the little kid, the youngest boy, says that he sees this woman waving at him through the window. Y'all, if I see an old woman waving at me through the window, I'm tying my Nikes on extra tight and I'm hauling ass out of there. I'm gonna look like Forrest Gump. I'm gonna look like Reverse Flash. I'm gonna be breaking through the timelines, destroying the multiverse with how fast I'm running. If I see somebody in a window that I know it ain't my grandpa that's supposed to be waving down at me, I am hauling ass. I'm gonna go through the sewer. Actually, I'm not gonna go through the sewer ways. That's how Pennywise gets my ass. Or gators if I live in Florida. Gators. You could literally have a pool that's like half a centimeter thick. There'll be gators. I don't know if they live in Florida, but if Fear Street's anything like Florida, I'm screwed if I go down them sewer ways. So yeah, whatever. I'm gonna be hauling ass. These kids don't act anything of it. They enter the house. The grandpa says hi. They greets everybody. And then they're at the dinner table, they're eating some pizza, and this is some of the most broke lunch cafeteria looking pizza I've ever seen. If somebody handed me this pizza, I would have shot them on sight. I promise you I'd have got a murder charge. Do not hand me this cardboard cafeteria pizza. But they eating it and they enjoying it, they acting like it's good. Hell no, it's not. And as they're eating dinner, their grandpa, starts asking, what have you heard about Fear Street? Have your parents actually told you about the truth? And, the older kids say they've heard it. The youngest kid says he hasn't heard it. So the grandpa starts explaining a story about this great fire that happened there and some of the stories involving the place. And then the little kid starts hearing this ghost dog or invisible dog. It's like whining and grumbling down below the kitchen table, turned to this point of argument between him and his parents and family that is there really a dog? Is he hallucinating? Is his imagination? Well, then it's Fear Street, so anything can happen, right? You'll find out. Fear Street is a very strange place. So they eventually decide to start exploring the neighborhood because they're like, all right, let's just check out Fear Street then. We've heard all these stories. We might as well start checking it out. So they head out there. And the main oldest daughter, there's an oldest daughter, there's this middle brother, and the youngest brother. The oldest daughter meets this emo chick that's picking up these tarantulas and spiders, and they kind of resonate with each other. They're both emo, they both like black, they both like dark, kind of clothing and dark, yeah, I hate my life, we love it, that kind of thing. So they get along well. And then, the middle brother is like me. He's for real like me. Because, she says, you want to see my insect collection? And the daughter's like, yeah. And he's like, F no. What the hell? No. And I'm like, that's me, bro. I don't want to see that, bro. This middle brother, low-key, is the best one, bro. He be flaming everybody, bro. He be seeing this messed up shit. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to have it. He smells that triceratops shit laced with DMT. And he's like, I'm going to stay far away from it. He's not going to go towards it. This daughter goes towards it. The little kid, he talking to invisible ghost dogs. He's messed up all the way. We got to abandon him. Got to put him for adoption. The daughter, she's a lost cause. The middle brother, most sensible guy. I like him. He's very pessimistic, but I like him. He's reasonable. So he's like, hell no, I don't want to go in the house. Daughter's like, hell yeah, we go in the house. And he's like, all right, bro. He goes in. There's a lot of webs. They're like, what? Right away, the brother's like, yeah, I'm out, bro. I ain't dealing with this. He's like, I'm out, bro. This is just crazy. But the daughter goes up there with the girl, starts showing off the insect collection, finds out they're very interested in spiders. And as the younger brother goes down to the kitchen, he essentially sees this guy raiding the fridge, which is the girl's dad, going through the fridge, and right away he gets scared. He gets like jump scared by him. I don't know why he got jump scared, but he gets jump scared. And then the guy also starts screaming, and then he transforms into the Bugman. That's right, he transforms into the actual Bugman that is from the dad's comic or writing or whatever piece that he's writing. And then right away he lifts up his armpits. You smell the musty odor coming off, and he starts spraying the spider webs or whatever webs at the kid, and then the kid starts running away. Now, if I told you that a grown man started squirting white stuff out of his armpits at a kid, right away Chris Hansen would be coming up and shutting down this whole abandoned house, this insect house. But you know what? It's not that kind of story. Right away, the kid starts running away, and he finds this comically exaggerated bug zapper that he brings back over. And let's just say it leads to quite the strange climax, disappointing climax. I don't know. Not much of a climax, to be honest, but it kind of gets revealed that it's like, well, maybe this strange phenomenon is not so strange. Maybe some people know about this certain person, certain things going on. Right away, you kind of get this, kind of revealer idea that the stuff, the crazy stuff that happens in Fear Street is like stuff that they're used to. Like it's stuff like, they've experienced. The mom and dad have probably most likely experienced this stuff and they're all used to it. So you get that big reveal. They're like, hey, we know about this stuff. This is a thing that happens. Apparently, Ghost of Fear Street is like Sesame Street up in this bitch. There's a whole lot of weird shit going on there that everybody's used to. You got the Grouch over there. You got this troll in the trash can. You got this giant prehistoric terror bird going over here and trying to tell me about the ABCs. You got this crackhead giant mammoth walking around like, hey, bird. You got the snort, bird? Yeah, bird. Like, that's what Sesame Street is. Sesame Street is full of crackheads and strange mythical creatures. I'm not staying on that whimsical ass street. You will not catch my ass sleeping there. And that to Elmo. Elmo's world. Get your ass out of my face, Elmo. I'm gonna knock the shit out of you. I'm not staying on Sesame Street, bro. And then Cookie Monster, like, no, bro, you bunch of crackheads, dog. I'm not staying there. And Ghost of Fear Street's full of crackheads, too. It's a lot of weird, crazy shit that I wouldn't stay in this place. You expect me to live there, bro? You expect me to live in a place where this Bugman is spraying out of his armpits? You expect me to stay in a place where I got to experience the real-life version of Why I'm Not Afraid of Ghosts? I hated Why I'm Not Afraid of Ghosts in book form. If I got to stay in a place that's actually, like, that has that stuff going on, man, I swear to God, if I see that scene where the kid's trying to take his test and the pencils keep flying out and he keeps grabbing new pencils and then he starts spinning and levitating in the air and then he acts like, wonder what happened. I will literally burn down that school. I will blow up that street. I promise you, I'm gonna be like the Joker up in that bitch. I will not stand for it, bro. But these kids apparently want to stand for it. So that's the pilot episode. The pilot episode is basically, hey, we're moving to the monster version of Sesame Street. We know about everything that's going on. More cringy dialogue, more cringy scenes. Jesus Christ, the last scene in this episode is terrible. I damn near leaped out of my skin. I need Marcus Digital on me at all times, like a Pokeball. I gotta have Marcus Digital and a Master Pokeball and just summon him anytime I see cringy shit. Because my God, it's terrible, bro. So yeah. Would I recommend you guys watch it? Strangely enough, I would recommend you guys watch it because this is the pilot episode of Ghost of Fear Street. So this potentially could have been a series. This was a canceled series that it didn't pick up enough attention, didn't garner enough. So it never got fully made into, actual material. But this could have potentially been a show that happened. And this show probably would have been the one that was going to replace Goosebumps. This is going to be the next big Goosebumps type of show. But it never became that. So it's kind of like lost media. Yeah, you have the pilot episode. It got canceled, so it's like lost media. You're like, hey, this could have been something, but it never was. We got this initial teaser. Was pretty trash, but I guess kind of corny fun in some places. I don't know. Not to me, but some people might enjoy it. So yeah. Now, for those of you who've seen Ghost of Fear Street, comment down below your thoughts and opinions. Those of you who've read more of the books, do you feel like this could have worked well? Because Ghost of Fear Street, yes, it happens all on the same street, but from what I know, it's kind of still anthology style. Like, hey, this happens on the same street, but it's all individual stories. From the premise of this show, it would have been like all these things that happen in the Ghost of Fear Street books would have happened to these group of kids, kind of like Stranger Things or something. So, not a personal really fan of that kind of style, but, I don't know how the Ghost of Fear Street books really are. Maybe that has some merits in terms of what Stein goes for. But let me know your thoughts. Did you enjoy it? Do you feel like this could have potentially been successful if they tweaked some things? Did you enjoy it? Have you read the Ghost of Fear Street books? What are your thoughts on them? And yeah, that's all I have for this review. So yeah, if those of you who've never heard about the Ghost of Fear Street pilot video, I would suggest you look it up. As soon as you look it up on YouTube, it'll pop up. And I'm sure if you look it up on the internet, it'll pop up. Go take a watch. go check it out. And then read some Ghost of Fear Street books and see maybe if you would have liked this idea of the series. I don't think it's ever going to get picked back up or revived, but it's a nice piece of history to look at. So even if it was pretty shit, it's pleasantly interesting enough shit to look at. It's kind of like going to the museum of shit. And if you go to the museum of shit, you kind of got to study the shit, right? So yeah, that's all I have for this review. Hit that subscribe button down below and hit that like button. I'm trying to get up to as many subscribers as I can, so you guys hitting that is free and lets me know you guys are in love with the content and enjoy it. It's about to be my birthday in like 4 hours, so if that's any more reason to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And if you never heard about the Ghost of Fear Street pilot episode and this puts you on, again, hit it, hit the like button, get the noties on. Check out my other content. I have like close to 50 plus or 60 videos on my channel. A lot of it involving Goosebumps. You have some Haunting Hour. You have some Are You Afraid of the Dark? And some more adult stuff like Creepshow and Stephen King. If you like that type of content, go check it out below. And yeah, that's all I have for today. And deuces. Moral of the lesson. Oh. Carry these at all times, people. You can't have web-slinging armpits out here because that's only meant for Across the Spider-Verse movie. And last time I checked, BD Horror 2099 is not there. Although if you want to get me there, I'll do what it takes.